I watched Donna Adelson's sentencing hearing the other day, and it was to be expected when you're talking about a narcissistic personality like that. I know a lot of people are saying that she messed up. Uh, the judge, if she would have shown some remorse, the judge might have gave her a lot of sense or whatever. But she was convicted of first degree unaliving, right? And conspiracy to commit that and whatever the third charge was. In Florida, when you get that first degree conviction, you either going to go to, uh, you know, death row or life without parole. There's no deviation from that, right? She's 75 years old. She actually stayed free for a good 9 years or so after the unaliving of her son-in-law, right? And so the judge gave her life without parole, which was to be expected, and then he gave her two consecutive, two 30-year sentences for the other two charges to run consecutive to the life without parole one, right? And they were going to run concurrent but consecutive to the first one. And I was like, yeah, so she could have got something different. 75 years old, she wasn't getting out. She knew that. So she chose to use her time to give one last stab, if you will, to Dan Markel and his family. She knew exactly what she was doing. Her husband knew exactly what she was doing. And her friends who went up there knew exactly what they were doing and fulfilling her last little requests. She did that on purpose. She did it on purpose. And so she gets up there with that old grandma act, right? And both of them, her and her husband, I remember when she was apprehended back in 2023, I thought the man was feeble and old and feeble, right? The way they were acting like he couldn't get to the home from the airport after he was arrested, right? But you saw him at the sentencing hearing. That was not a feeble 80-year-old man, right? He was just as narcissistic as his wife, and they gave one last parting shot to her son-in-law and his family once again. It was vile, it was evil, but it was to be expected. But these people orchestrated the unaliving of a son-in-law who was the father of their grandkids, who was someone's father, someone's brother, someone's son, someone's cousin and family member and friend. And they didn't give a rat's ass about that. And she sat in that courtroom on Monday and played the victim. She knew exactly what she was doing.